told her that I would just kind of let y'all know kind of what I seen and what other people that are actually with us also
Yeah.
saw, and kind of just what was said and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's no big. Yeah, I can. That's totally fine.
Okay, so let me ask you this then first. From what I saw in the pictures, the flames looked like they were coming out pretty strong from the plane itself. But what did you see before I guess all that happened?
Um, from all it was, honestly, so they were only we're an event is happening at the agriculture the center that's literally across the road from the airport, and so there is a bunch of people here, and we all just randomly just started seeing smoke, but like I'll say a few minutes before that we heard a really loud like boom, like an explosion, and nobody really knew what it was because I mean we're kind of all busy doing our own stuff here, so we aren't really paying attention. And then out of nowhere, black smoke just kind of comes from around the building, and that's where the plane had crashed, actually in a field on the other side of the one of the buildings where we are at. And so we all just kind of run over there, and the plane is actually already on the ground, like in flames. Um, so I'm assuming that loud boom was when it actually exploded. But another man that was with us said that the plane was in the air, and then it started. It came down, it hit the ground, and then it slid apparently, and then that's when the plane actually caught fire.
Yeah.
But all the family did get out of the plane. There were 3 children and 2 adults. I believe one of the family members were driving, but they're all talking. They did go to the hospital just to be checked, but all seem completely fine as of right now.
Which is pretty hard. That's pretty hard to believe. Like, I saw those
I
photos.
know.
You automatically, I hate to say it, like, you automatically assume the worst when you see photos like that. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope everyone's okay. But, you just never know. Let me ask you, what kind of was, when you saw the family getting out, or you saw kind of what happened after the plane crash, like, what was going through your head personally?
Honestly, I was having a really hard time with it just because once I knew that there was children involved, I instantly thought of my own kids, and that's what kind of rushed me to get over there and help as much as I could. But I believe the family actually got themselves out of the plane before the flames even got worse, because they were actually away from the plane before it, like, the plane is completely gone. Like it caught, yeah, it was like burned. But I don't know how, it had to been God himself, because they all got out, and I don't think none of them had a scratch on them.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
incredible. No, I was like, when they were saying minor injuries, I was like, there is no way that is minor
Yes.
injuries,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it myself. Like I was running towards the plane, like thinking the absolute worst, because I work in a hospital, so I guess that part of me just like took charge, I guess. But
Mhm.
yeah, I just, I was thinking the worst, and they were like, they've already like ran out, and they're all up there fine, and they were all up there. I mean, you could definitely tell that the family was very shook by. I mean, they just went through something very like
Traumatic.
who would have ever thought that that would have happened? And I'm sure that they were just going on a ride, a family little ride. I'm sure they do it very often, because they seem to know what they were doing. I mean, they have their own personal plane, so why not? And
Mhm.
just the actual driver, I believe it was the father driving. I'm not 100% sure, but word had gotten around that he had actually spoke to someone and said that the plane just actually started smoking while in the air, and he lost control, and that is when it crashed.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah,
And as a
so
as a dad, as a parent, you go through that, probably was going through his head, like, my whole family's on this plane. You know what I mean?
yes, ma'am.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I hate it for him, but then again, they are a very, very blessed family tonight. It could have ended very differently, but everybody at the track is very, very happy with the ending results. We hate it had to be like that, but I mean,
Yeah.
it could have been a way worse outcome.
Oh, no
And
kidding. Yeah.
so yeah, that it was a rush for sure. But I'm, seeing them little kids, they're fine,
Yeah.
and the parents are fine. I mean, they're shook, but
Well, thankfully, it's going to be one of those things where they tell stories about it instead of in
yes,
a can you believe we got out kind of deal, not, the worst.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely. No, nobody was expecting it, that's for sure, and I'm sure they were not either. So I'm glad that was the result. I hate it happened, but I thank the Lord myself that was the only outcome, that they're just going to go and have some things looked at, and that was all.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Well, thank you so very much. I can only imagine watching that. Thankfully, it sounds like you have some medical background. So, I mean, I hate to say it, like you would have probably been the perfect person, but at the same, because everyone needs to stay calm in that kind of setting. But
yes,
thankfully, people like you who care were nearby, and I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of talk to me about what happened, because I can only imagine seeing that in the moment. I'm sure it was very scary.
yes, it definitely was out of the blue, as I will say.
Yeah.
Did not expect I would be, witnessing that this weekend. So yes,
No.
but like I said, I thank God for how it ended. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kaitlyn, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.